How did you get involved in this unusual occupation?
Well, a long time ago, I majored in drama at the University of California, Davis, but I wanted to eat for my lives, for a living. So I worked in other things, and then when I retired and moved here to Las Vegas in the 2009, I found a class on voiceover, and I didn't know too much about it, so I took the class through the UNLV extension, or continuing it actually, and learned about voicing commercials and video games. Voiceover is any kind of acting where you don't see the actor. You hear their voice only. And about 2 years ago, through those connections, I learned about a website called acx.com, which is a branch of Amazon. And that's a marketplace for narrators and authors and publishers to get their books turned into audiobooks. And for the last solid year, I have been doing book after book after book. I'm up to like 16 or 17 books now. I've got a couple of authors who come back for more, which is always gratifying. And it's a nice way to be in the business without having to leave my house. I can record right here.
What is the process that you usually go through from start to recording?
Okay. The first step is to get the job. And at ACX, there are literally thousands of auditions on any given day. You then would select the kind of genre you're looking for, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. You specify whether whether you're a male or female, because some authors want one or the other, or they don't care. And then you look at the kind of pay that you're willing to take. And that gives you a smaller list, maybe only 25 or 50 books. And if, as you have time, you create auditions, meaning you read a small portion of the book, maybe a 5-minute selection. You master it, you proof it, get it all ready for final submission, send it in, and then it's up to the authors or publishers to choose. Sometimes they do that right away. Sometimes it's weeks before you hear. But I haven't had more than a week without something to do in that field since I started. This is a program called Twisted Wave, which operates only on Macintosh computers. But it's an audio recording program that I use, and it's very simple to edit. Some people have out-and-out studios. Other people have closets like I do that have been adapted for audiobook reading and recording in general. The only thing that slows me down are leaf blowers. That's my big enemy, and the garbage trucks going by. I'm done until they're passed. And if planes are landing at Executive Airport over Sun City Anthem that day, then I'm not going to be doing much recording. I have a little clicker that I use. It's a dog training clicker we got at PetSmart. And I click that, and it puts a pop in the audio file. And so when I make a mistake, I click, and then I try it again. And if I get it right, then I keep going. Then when the reading is all done, let's say it takes an hour, I come back to my den and edit the audio file. I have to keep copies, so in case something goes wrong, I can always go back a step.
Jack DeGolia. Another Nice Mess, the Laurel and Hardy story. The location was Hal Roach Studios in Hollywood, California. Stan Laurel, a delicately handsome, auburn-haired Englishman, was pleased with himself. He had just completed a screenplay based on a theater sketch his father wrote back in 1905 called Home from the Honeymoon. The scenario was about two hobos on the lam who take refuge in a vacant mansion. When a well-to-do couple drops by, the tramps masquerade as the owner and the maid. Yes, one of the men dresses as a woman. Their charade backfires when the real owner returns unexpectedly. As a professional comedian, Mr. Laurel cast himself as one of the bums. His character was a good-natured dimwit who clumsily tried to carry out his partner's orders. The other hobo would be the domineering partner, acting as though he knew everything but just as inept.
There's so much more to this story. From Jack's studio, Bob Goldberg, SCATV, Anthem, Alive.